Cosmic with the Cosmic Clash, and we're here with the Division Men, who formed as a project in Berlin, Germany. And this is Carolyn.
Hello.
And this is Jesus.
Guten Tag, wie geht's?
The Portillos here. And I guess I wanted to start it off, if you could elaborate on the beginnings of the Division Men, on your idea.
It all stemmed from the last band I was in, and eventually I wanted to create a kind of project that involved musicians that I knew that were in different parts of the world. So I didn't have the idea of it being a band per se. It was more of a recording project, thus the name Divided. And people were going to be recording for a certain album, but not necessarily ever performing it. And that's why we came up with that.
That sounds great. All right, then I have another question for you guys. How was it to record? Because you guys recorded a bunch of artists. The way you guys come about it is really, really cool. How was it to record with Javier Escobedo from the Zeros, Johnette Napolitano from Concrete Blonde, and Jake Garcia from the Black Angels?
I mean, every moment that we had was something that we would never forget. I mean, we've been very fortunate to not only meet these amazing artists, but to become friends with them, and for them to be a part of something that was so dear. Mm-hmm. You know, this new album, we were talking about kind of getting back to Jesus' original project idea of collaborating and making this into something bigger than just the two of us. And we had that opportunity. It was quite special. I don't know if you want to...
Yeah, it was a bit surreal. I mean, we've had the opportunity to play with some people, to record here at the house, and it's just bizarre. We had a wonderful time playing with Jeanette. We've both been listening to her music since we were in our teens.
Right? Yeah. Likewise here, when I saw that.
So yeah, to be able to share the stage with her, to let her sing and hear her voice was something out of this world, and I think that we'll never forget that.
Yeah.
With Javier, that was very special. I mean, this guy's been putting out records since we were in our diapers, and he's
such a sweet soul. I mean, just the most amazing person on the planet.
Yeah,
he's great. Yeah.
Yeah, we fell in love with his personality instantly and hit it off. We invited him over, and he was more than happy to try it out. It was funny. He came in, and I think he was hesitant at first because it's not necessarily a style of music that he's used to, but he did fantastic.
Oh yeah,
he
it was beautiful.
Picked up a Gibson guitar and just went to town. It was awesome.
How did some of those relationships form? Because that's pretty crazy out there, where it's like I see a post and you're recording, you know, from the girl from Concrete Blonde.
I have to blame it on Jesus and his very endearing and outgoing personality. I think that when you meet Jesus and you know, because I've known him for such a long time, that there's just something very special about knowing him, and he's getting all red.
No, he has always been that way, because, you know, when I started, I guess a long time ago, he was always provided, like, pictures and material and stuff like that to continue. Let's talk about your music videos. Your music videos are very artistic.
Thank you very much.
Who comes up with some of these ideas, and what do you do to prepare for those videos?
So, for us, we do everything pretty much together. Mm-hmm. We usually will be sitting around and just having a regular discussion about what we envision as far as the story goes, and then Jesus might draw up a storyboard or storyline, and then we kind of try to make it happen. And then at that point, we collect as much video as we can, and I'll sit behind a computer for 6 weeks to 6 months and do some editing.
That's right. You're like an artist there, because I've seen some of your projections in the back, and they're really cool.
So graphics and computer. So I learned it all on my own. I mean, I went to college, and studied graphic design, but I've kind of learned along the years on my own And so that takes me a little time because I'm always trying to learn different things. I know exactly what I want to do. I just gotta figure it out. So sometimes that takes a little
Well,
time.
they come out really good. I didn't know that you were the one responsible for that art because that is some crazy stuff when you see those
thank you.
videos. It's very,
Thank you.
very awesome.
I have to compliment Jesus too because he's got a vision of what he wants to see as well, and that definitely makes
Your team effort.
it makes my editing easier in a way.
Did you come up with a storyline and continue?
Yeah,
that?
and he has a pretty good idea of what he wants to see or what kind of story we're telling,
Mhm.
and then together we're able to kind of make that happen.
Awesome. Let's see. So you guys are going on an extensive tour. We were talking about earlier that it's going to be like an 8-month tour, but after that it might be like an indefinite thing.
For sure.
What brought that on, actually?
We were on tour maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I can't remember. It's been a while. But we were up in North California, up at Mount Shasta. We had a day off and we got a cabin. We were around the campfire drinking mezcal and just having a good time. And I think we both kind of looked at each other and said, why can't we do this all the time?
Why not? What's stopping us from doing this?
Nothing.
And the answer is super easy. Us. That's all that was stopping us.
That is very true.
And so we spent the last couple of years really just trying to figure out how to make it happen. You know, what do we need to do? And slowly and surely, everything has started falling into place, and we're doing it. Now here we are.
Are you guys pretty excited,
Oh my
nervous?
God. Insanely excited. We are a little overwhelmed as we're getting to the end here. Getting out of the house that
It's
we've been in
becoming
for
more
4
real.
years. And it's becoming very real.
It's been a lot of work. We've been working on this record, I think, maybe like 1.5 years now. Maybe,
Mhm.
I don't want to say 2 years. It might be 2 years. It's taken a long time to put these songs together, and it's taken a long time to record them, which is ideal when you're working at home and you can take the time to try something one night, come back to it the next day, and just continue. But the past 2 years has finally led to this, and we're excited about the record, and we want people to love it because so far it's sounding like something it sounds completely different from the last record, and I think we've matured also as musicians, and we're really happy to bring that forward.
Yeah,
And we really want you guys to listen to it.
because what you showed me, it's totally different from the past albums. It's grown a lot. Because you guys have grown a lot and taken it to a different level.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
That was very exciting.
We've been lucky and had some really cool people come in and play with us. There's this guy named Jay Reynolds, who's a good friend of ours, and he's in a band from Austin called Asleep at the Wheel. They've put out they've got like Grammys as well,
Mhm.
and they've been out for a very long time. But he came over and he tracked. I think it probably only took him maybe about half an hour, and it was amazing to hear this guy play sax. So he's on a track. So I think we're very fortunate. Guys like Jake Garcia, who's on tour right now in a band called the Black Angels. They're fantastic. He came by and tracked on a different song. I mean, I think what's cool about it is that it's still going back to what we envisioned this project to be. Not necessarily so much of a band that goes on tour, but more about bringing people together for a record. Some of my favorite records have always been records that have brought in different people from different bands to play on a certain album. And then, you kind of listen to it for about a year and go, my God, who is it? There's this one album by Killing Joke that I fell in love with when I was in Berlin. And I listened to it for about a year and I thought, this drummer is probably the best drummer I've ever heard in my life. Who the hell is this? And I look it up, and it's Dave Grohl. Dave Grohl played drums on that record. And I thought, yeah, no wonder. But it's cool to bring your friends in on something that you're creating to paint that canvas. And
Let other people kind of like paint on that canvas
Adding
and
some
stuff, adding
color.
some.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very cool. It's
Yeah.
very, very cool.
for us, it's not only like we're not only excited about the record, but also going out live. We're going out from the month of June 1st, late May, June 1st, and we will be on tour till December.
That's a long time. Well, I hope it continues even further. I hope
we do too. This is we gave ourselves a small goal of 7 to 8 months, and then from there we can figure out where our next move is. And
that's a pretty big goal. There is not a
baby steps.
Baby steps. Yeah, let's try 8 months. Let's try 2 years. No, that's awesome. This question is for Jesus here. You've been in the scene in the El Paso punk scene for many, many years. What have the experiences? What have you gathered from all those music experiences? And what is the longest running band that you have other than the Division Men right now?
El Paso was really special to me. It brought me closer to a lot of people that I consider insanely talented. I learned a lot from just going to shows. We both went to shows. We've been at shows since our teens. I'm a lot older now, but growing up and watching magic happen in front of you, I think was definitely something that not too many people ever get to experience. There's a lot of great bands from El Paso, and right now there's a band that's on tour. They're called At the Drive-In, and to be able to share the stage with them and watch them when I filmed their second show. To be able to, my best friend growing up, Kenny Hopper, he was their first bass player. So I learned a lot from Kenny. I'd go over to his house and we'd listen to records all day and skate and do cool shit when you're young and doing this fun stuff when you're playing in punk bands. And then later on, you just get to share that with other people. So I think I learned a lot from growing up that DIY, 915 punk ethic. That we all kind of have an opportunity to do something. It's really up to you and what you want to do. And if you feel like you want to chase it, then chase it. And that's what we've been doing. That's what I've been doing since then.
Likewise. Well, Carolyn, I have a question for you. Since I think you're a legendary bass player, and with the bands that you played in, the caliber of bands, and traveling the world, which is pretty crazy. I would like you to elaborate, because we have had a conversation about that on the bands that you've played with.
I mean, really the main, I guess, high caliber band that I played for was Tito and Tarantula, which I did for 5.5 years, and I mean, honestly, such a big part of my life, such a huge part of my life, and they influenced me in many ways. I've learned so much about myself, about life, about I learned so much as a musician from them. I played locally in San Antonio for many years. I played with a couple punk bands there, Second to None, Despicables. Then I had my own kind of side project, Left Hand Lucy, and I did that for quite some time.
That's pretty crazy. I did not know that.
Yeah,
that is... Yeah. See what I mean? The legendary status kind of thing that what you're doing.
Yeah.
And she comes from a family of musicians as well.
I do. My grandfather actually made bajos sextos as I was growing up.
So you grew up around that
grew up around music. I mean, wood shops and musicians and...
Yeah, so you have like a world filled with music and you're kind of like destined.
I think so. I mean, I would have to say so, only just because if my siblings weren't that way also, then I think I would question it a little more. But yeah, I think it was kind of set, the stone and the pathway was kind of set for me there.
That's very cool. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
So you guys are recording a new album, just like we talked about earlier. What's different about this new album from the albums in the past?
Well, the first record that we did was a live take that we did at Jim Ward, who played in At the Drive-In. We recorded at his studio in El Paso. So that was fun. We didn't know what we were gonna do as far as a duo, so we went in and tracked it, and it's live. So if you get to listen to it online or you buy it on tour, that is
what we
Start
sound
and
like
stop.
at that time.
Yeah, what we started with, and they were great songs. We matured more, I think, on the second record. We took close to a year to record that one, and
Incorporated more instrumentation.
Yeah.
We got to play with our vocals a little more. Add some, background vocals.
we still followed the same pattern, but we
And my
added some
sister
color to
played
it.
some piano. Just added some.
So you guys are
flavor.
becoming like the full division, man. Like it's
Right,
coming
just-
like almost full circle onto including different musicians
Absolutely.
and
So on this album, for sure.
Yeah.
That's where it came into play, where we were able to come back
I
to it.
reached out to a gentleman that helped me start the whole thing. His name's Mitch Hertz. He's in Sydney, Australia.
mm-hmm.
And we reached out to him and asked him to play on a song that I wrote way back when. So he's also on the record. So that's going to be... This guy is the best guitar player I've ever played with in my entire life, hands down.
He's amazing.
He's absolutely
I'm
amazing.
excited to
He's
hear.
just a gem.
Yeah.
And so to us, we're really excited to have Mitch on it. But yeah, along with Mitch, you got Javier, you got Jay.
Stevie.
We have Stevie Hofstetter. Stevie played in a band called The Quick in the 70s, and I think he did a stint in the Dickies. He's also
The Crusados.
played with Tito and the Crusados, and he
Tito
did
and Tarantula.
Tito and Tarantula, and he also did the Repo Man soundtrack as well.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to play with Stevie's her old guitar player, and for us to track a song with Stevie was also mind-blowing. This guy is... Nobody can play like Stevie, and I don't think Stevie can play like Stevie.
Yeah, and ask him to play something twice. I don't know.
So to have Stevie on it, and
yeah, he's amazing.
little by little we're
It's
incorporating.
been such a treat.
We brought Rachel back on the record, and she tracks some piano stuff, and
Vocals.
yeah, and we have a couple more tricks up our sleeve, so we just haven't said anything about those people
As we're
yet,
getting into the end.
Into the start.
Into the start. Into the end of
the
end of production, start of something new.
something new.
Yeah.
Well, it's very exciting to have all those, things going on. Where can people find all your stuff, all your information?
Nice and easy on our website, divisionman.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter,
Bandcamp,
Instagram,
iTunes.
we're
YouTube
everywhere.
with all your awesome
Spotify.
videos.
YouTube, yes.
So you're out there.
We're
You can
out.
also find it at the Cosmic Clash.
Yes, this is true.
Well, thank you. Well, it was wonderful talking to you guys.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you for sharing your story, and I wish you the best of luck in
Thank
the
you.
future because I love you guys, and
I love you too.
it'd be awesome to see you guys grow. Until the next time that we do this, we'll see where you guys are at, and I know for sure that you guys will be in a totally different place, just like all.
Thank you.
Well, I'm Mike Cosmic for the Cosmic Clash, and I'd like to thank the Division Men, and we'll be catching you guys later.
Bye.
I am here all alone, and I have no holes to hold on you. I sure